Hello! Oh, that's in that camera gone to a strange place. How odd. Maybe it wants to be a little bigger, but no, that doesn't solve the whole problem. Anyway, sorry. I've once again not done the thing where I've checked the camera ahead of time, but so let's just move it around manually. Yeah. That's probably good enough. Alright, excuse me. Meh. Alright, I got that. For some reason my desktop audio was off, but now it's back on. Let's put that there. Alright, feel like I'm set up. I just realized I forgot to turn on captioning, so that'll be the thing I'm gonna do here real quick. Sorry. I was like, I went to pull up the thing and then there was another thing in the browser, and because how my brain works, I got distracted briefly by it before realizing, oh right, I am live! I can worry about that later. Alright, let me start the captions. Alright, let us continue from the beginning of Chapter 4. Chapter 4, Family. "3 weeks have passed since my encounter with the king. I am once again in town with Waltz as he prepares for one of his shows. I have already lost count of how many of his shows I have watched at this point. The excursions have become part of my daily routine. Waltz has been insistent on training me as his assistant, so I have decided to play along. Even now, I am helping him construct his booth, though he refuses to let me carry anything too heavy. I have experienced so many new things these past few months. Things I'd always wanted to experience, but had never told anyone about. Somehow, Waltz knew about all of them. Honey, are you sure you didn't tell anyone? Even when he told me we were childhood friends and insisted that my memories of him had been erased, I hadn't believed him. Lucette, thinking to herself. But now, I am beginning to believe that he is telling the truth about this forgotten friendship. Waltz smiles at me from where he is assembling the front of the booth. Waltz, you used to dream about getting out of the palace to see Angielle. And now you're here. You can't imagine how happy I am that I can finally fulfill all of the promises I made to you. Lucette, I still have reservations about believing your story, but... Waltz, even if you did know me a long time ago, I am not the same. I hand him the small curtains for the booth, my head dipped so that I do not have to look him in the eyes. Lucette, out loud. I am not the child you used to know. Waltz, silence. I know that. But I also believe that the girl I knew all those years ago, the one who was always so happy over the smallest things, that kind, sincere girl, she's still you. Lucette, thinking to herself, how can that be when I don't think I've ever truly known what happiness feels like? Lucette, I think you have known what happiness feels like, and it was taken away from you. After Waltz hangs the curtains, the booth is complete. I expect him to step out from the side, as he always does, but he sets his palms down on the table instead and looks at me. Waltz. When I saw you again that day, I was so happy. I thought fate had brought you back to me. Okay, apparently his voice was very soft. I want to try that again. When I saw you that day, I was so happy. I thought fate had brought you back to me. Waltz's voice is very soft when he speaks. Waltz. But then, you still didn't recognize me. Waltz's voice trails off, and I frown. Lucette, thinking to herself. There are still so many things he is not telling me. Eventually, Waltz picks up his box of puppets and smiles at me brightly. Waltz. Anyway, I've got a show to perform. Don't go anywhere. I notice that his smile does not reach his eyes as I watch him walk away. I look out at the crowd that has gathered for the show. Lucette, thinking to herself. There are a lot of families here today. I watch as two families approach each other. The adults begin to converse with each other while the kids run up to the front of the crowd to catch a better glimpse of the show. Some of the children have shoes, but their parents are barefoot. All their clothes are dirty and torn. Their lives are clearly hard, but they are still smiling. Lucette, thinking to herself. I have never been in desperate need of clothes or food. I have never had to work for anything. I should have been happier than these people when I was a princess. But now, I am beginning to see that the material things I had were never enough to buy me true happiness. Waltz. Hello, everyone! I take a step off to the side as Waltz begins his show. Waltz weaves his stories as seamlessly as he always does, captivating his audience with every word, but I am not paying attention. My focus is locked on the two families standing near me. Lucette, thinking to herself. When I see these people, I cannot help but wonder, what kind of life have I been leading? Waltz's show was a success yet again. He is smiling from ear to ear as he counts the coins he has earned as a reward for his good performance. Lucette. You look happier than usual. Waltz. I am! I've been saving money for a special toy, and now I can finally buy it. I'm just gonna guess right now, I bet the toy that he plans to buy is the one for Lucette. The one that Lucette stopped and looked at, and he's gonna get it for her because that just feels correct. Alright. Lucette, thinking to herself. He says he does not like to be treated like a child, but he gets so excited whenever he mentions a new toy. I pause at the sound of laughter and look up to see a group of children talking excitedly to each other as they approach Waltz and I. Waltz. Ah, this might be an opportunity. Lucette. An opportunity? Waltz. Making these children happy might be a good deed. Lucette. What? Waltz ignores me as he jogs up to the children. Boy. Waltz! The group of children swarm him, talking loudly as they each try to cling to him in some manner. Girl. We've been waiting forever for you to come back! Waltz. But I was here a couple days ago. Boy. But you didn't have time to play. Girl. Can we play now? Please, please, please? Boy. We've been good, just like you told us. The boy looks around at the group of children, and they all nod their heads with eager agreement. Waltz. Well, if you've been as good as you say, how could I say no? The children cheer. Waltz. I'm gonna start counting now. Girl. Come on! Boy. He won't find us this time! The children disperse around the area. I watch them go with disinterest. Waltz. That's your cue to hide, princess. Lucette. What? Why do I need to take part in this? Waltz. You don't want to play? But we used to play hide and seek all the time. Lucette, thinking to herself. I am fairly certain I have never played a game like this with anyone before. Is this another memory that was taken from me? Bingo! Oh, huh. Sorry, I just noticed something that's kind of bothering me. Huh. Do. Sorry, I want to change the... See if I can get rid of that black border around the game in my stream. Hang tight just 1 second. Oh, that's worse. Not quite. Well, there's that. That's definitely wrong. Alright. I just noticed the game itself has those black borders. No wonder it's doing that. Okay, so we're gonna do fit to screen. Wait, what? Why didn't that work? We're gonna reset everything. And we're gonna go fit to screen. Now that's not working. Okay, there we go. And we're gonna do that. And there we go! Okay. This works. Sorry about that. Girl. Big sister, play with us! A little girl runs up to me and begins to pull me along with her. Lucette. Hey! I look at Waltz, but he only smiles at me. Lucette thinking to herself. It seems like I don't really have a choice. Waltz turns to face a wall. He covers his eyes and begins to count. Before I can react, the little girl has let go of me and is running off. Lucette thinking to herself. What is going on? I turn and see a boy hiding behind a barrel. Boy. You have to hide before he finishes counting! Lucette thinking to herself. They didn't even explain the rules of this game. How was I supposed to know what to do? I look around me to find places that I might hide. Lucette thinking to herself. Maybe behind the tree? Behind the fountain would also work. Or those wooden crates. Oh, those are so many. Why is there a correct choice here? This is so weird. Actually, I bet I do know, because I bet that she has a place that she used to hide all the time. And like, if I pick the right one, Waltz will comment on it, and that'll be why that's the right answer. But I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. And I'm gonna guess. I think we'll go with the tree? Waltz. Ready or not, here I come! Waltz scratches his head as he walks in my direction. Oh, because it's like it's like she's not even making an effort to hide. I guess before I, like, freak out and go, oh, I must have done it wrong, I will at least see how this goes. Waltz. You could have made more of an effort to actually hide, Princess. Lucette, thinking to herself. What? Waltz. I can see you from here. Found you first. Let's go find the others. I trail along Waltz as he methodically checks all the possible hiding places. It isn't long before he finds the rest of the children. Waltz. You guys have improved. Boy. Yeah, but you still found us. Waltz. No need to look like that. You guys are getting better with your hiding spots. In fact, I think this lady here could learn from you. Lucette. Hey! Waltz. Alright, everyone, that's it. The children begin to whine, clearly disappointed. Boy. We only played one round! Waltz. Now, don't be like that. I promise to play another game with everyone soon. Now run along. I'm sure your parents are looking for all of you. One of the children, a little girl, tugs on my sleeve. Yeah, okay, at this point I'm pretty sure that it's an incorrect choice just because it was such a bad hiding space. So let's try behind the wooden crates, because that feels like a real hiding spot. Waltz. Ready or not, here I come! Lucette. Oh yeah, this feels like maybe it's the right choice. Just because Lucette, it's not something that she is used to doing in princess mode. Lucette thinking to herself. I cannot believe I am sitting on the dirt to avoid being seen. My dress is getting soiled because of a child's game. Waltz. Found you! Lucette. Shocked. My heart begins to race as I turn to look at him, but I realize Waltz has found one of the children. Lucette, thinking to herself. Oh, it wasn't me. Wait, why am I worried about being found? Waltz. Got you! Every so often I hear Waltz proclaim that he's found someone, but... Lucette, thinking to herself. He still hasn't found me. Do I get something if I win this game? Girl. You still haven't found Big Sister yet. Waltz. You're right. Where could she be hiding? Lucette, thinking to herself. This is quickly becoming boring. Waltz. Found you! Lucette, shocked. I jump when I hear Waltz's voice behind me. He looks down at me in triumph. Waltz. You won, princess! Lucette. I won? Waltz. Looks like you're an expert at this game. Lucette. I am not. You just did not look hard enough. Waltz. That doesn't change the fact that you still won the game. You should be happy. Great job, princess. Waltz pats me on the back and smiles once again before he turns his attention back to the children. Lucette, thinking to herself. He is right. His praise makes me feel strangely happy. Why? Waltz. Right, everyone, that's it. The children begin to whine, clearly disappointed. Okay, I still didn't get a right choice indicator, but I guess I'll go a little further because this felt much more potentially correct than the other one. Boy. We only played one round! Waltz. Now don't be like that. I promise to play another game with everyone soon. Now run along. I'm sure your parents are looking for all of you. One of the children, a little girl, tugs on my sleeve. Girl. Thank you for playing with us, Big Sister. Please, come again. Lucette. Silence. She smiles up at me before skipping away to join the rest of the children. All of the children head off together back towards the residential area of the town. Waltz. They like you. Lucette. How do you know that? Waltz. Didn't you see how happy they were when you joined in? Lucette. Children are so easy to please. Waltz. That's why I envy them. Adults aren't like children. They worry too much and don't appreciate the small joys in life. I'm gonna say that I do think his statement has truth in the aggregate, but this is not an all no adults know how to have fun, but he is right that people have a habit of, well, I'll get more into this. Waltz. As we grow up, we forget how to be happy. Lucette, thinking to herself. Forget how to be happy? Waltz may be right about that. When I was younger, my dolls brought me so much joy, but now... Yay! I was pretty sure at that, with the way how it went compared to the other one, I was pretty sure that was probably the right choice, but I'm glad to get the confirmation. So I am going to state an opinion, which is, yes, absolutely. There is a tendency for people to be all like, I am an adult now, I am too stressed to have fun, or even, like, there's a weird societal pressure / perception in some places with some people that adults, like, aren't allowed to have fun and have hobbies and stuff, and that's, like, obviously incorrect, but, like, I definitely hear stories about people who are like, nope, at some point I am gonna have to lay down all of these hobbies that I love because I will be an adult and I cannot spend time on childish things like games and hobbies. And my opinion is that is incredibly incorrect. You will be a much happier adult if you let yourself enjoy things that you like. Like, there's just never a reason, like, unless you're doing something in a way that is, like, detrimental, like, if you're obsessively doing, like, reading books or playing video games or something, but you're, like, putting everything else aside to do that, and you're, like, unable to function in life, that can be a problem, but, like, very few people are actually doing that. Like, have fun. Like, just, it doesn't matter how old you are, or, like, what, if If you want to play video games, play video games. If you want to read, like, if you, like, you know, if you're an adult and you want to read young adult fiction, go for it. Heck, if you want to read picture books because they're pretty, I don't know. Do you. That's what I'm saying. It's like the same thing as, like, sleeping with stuffed animals or, like... I just, you know, it just makes me sad to hear stories about adults who feel like they're not allowed to have fun, I guess, is where I'm going with that. Anyway, Waltz. Anyway, since you won, you deserve a treat. Lucette. A treat? Waltz. You'll like it, I promise. Is he gonna get her the doll? Is he gonna get her the doll? I hope that he gets her the doll. I sit on a wooden bench, waiting for Waltz to return. He said it would be easier for him to go alone because he wanted to surprise me. I did not protest. Lucette, thinking to herself. I have been on my feet all day. I never thought I would be running around playing with children. I wonder what this treat is going to be. For whatever reason, this is the first time I've really looked at the art for the plaza, and I'm just like, the shop names are kind of funny, like Osak, and that one's not legible. Woob and Barcode. I mean, I guess, you know, bar... Like, if you assume it's supposed to be a bar, but Barcode is just such a funny name. Alright. Every time we come to the plaza, it is always packed with people. Most of the popular shops are clustered in this area. I observe the town quietly, before my eyes land on the statue of the king. He looks noble, riding a rearing stallion. The sight makes my heart twist uncomfortably. I am pulled out of my thoughts when a child trips and falls in front of me. He begins to cry. Lucette, thinking to herself, should I do something? But before I can react, a man and woman are there, pulling the child up. The man takes the child in his arm, and the woman rubs his back. Man. There, my love. Woman. Mama and Papa are here now. Lucette. Silence. I watch as they slowly walk away, the mother still crooning to her child. Lucette, thinking to herself, oh, maybe this is good, actually, because she's seeing all these, like, happy families, and thus, kind of for the first time, seeing what a happy, healthy family dynamic is supposed to look like. I don't think there has been any other route where she's really seen that. Like, maybe Rod's route, because he sees, you know, Rod and Emmeline with their mother, but, like, nah, this is really good, like... this is good for her because she can look back and be like, wow, these families are so happy and they treat each other so lovingly, and wow, I never had that growing up. And, like, I think it might be useful for her to start piecing together that she was horribly emotionally abused as a child, or at the very least realize that her childhood was kind of messed up. Anyway, Lucette, thinking to herself, Mother would always get angry at me if I was about to cry. I wonder what it's like to be comforted like that. Waltz. Sorry to keep you waiting. Lucette. Silence. Waltz. Are you okay? I keep the family in sight for as long as I can before turning to Waltz. Lucette. I am fine. Waltz. Silence. Here. I got candy apples. Lucette. What is this? Waltz. A candied apple. A long time ago I promised that I would bring you one, but I wasn't able to keep that promise. That's why I'm fulfilling it now. Lucette. Thinking to herself. I do not recall such a promise. Okay, Lucette, if you are going to, like, get worked up every single time he references something that you did together that you don't remember, you are going to, like, send yourself in a tizzy, because, like, they'll just assume that whenever he says, we did this together, you're not going to remember it. I twirl the candy, inspecting its glazed and shiny appearance. Lucette, thinking to herself, I did not know you could make an apple look like this. Waltz. I promise there are no poison apples here. These ones are just sweet. Waltz, she will not get your reference. She does not know the Snow White story. I sniff at the candy. Lucette, thinking to herself. Sweet. I take a small bite. Lucette, shocked. Waltz. Well? I become so immersed in my taste test that I do not even hear Waltz. The candied apple tastes like nothing I have ever tried before. Lucette, thinking to herself. This is good. I don't know if I like how I read that. This is good. I'll go with that. I take another bigger bite. Waltz. Is that a smile I see, princess? Lucette. What? Thinking to herself. I wasn't smiling at all. Was I? Waltz. When I get some extra money from my shows, I'll make sure to treat you again. I have lots of favorites to show you. Lucette. There are more desserts like this? Waltz. Of course. I'll make sure you try all of them. Waltz stands, then moves over to a trash bin so that he can dispose of his finished apple. Waltz. It's getting late. Let's go back to the Marchen. I do look forward to getting an adult Waltz. I hope that it will be before the very end of the chapter. The next few weeks become a blur. I continue to help out in the tavern, while sometimes accompanying Waltz for his shows. Though Waltz continues his lessons on goodness, I have yet to gain a single good deed. I am slowly starting to lose hope. It has been months since I was cursed, and I still have yet to complete a single good deed. Today, I have been assigned the task of serving Marchen customers. Lucette, thinking to herself. I honestly prefer my duties with Mr. Broom. At least I do not have to mingle with all of these people. I have only just entered the tavern when I freeze at the sight of a familiar face. Oh, yay, Fritz! He's just so not present in so many of the other routes. I just want them to get to be friends in one of these routes, right? Like for Fritz to be okay and to be friends with her. So I'm crossing my fingers that maybe they will get to hang out and he will get to break his curse and he won't die in this route. Fingers crossed. That would be real nice. Lucette, thinking to herself. Fritz? His posture is stiff, his arms are crossed, and he is obviously uncomfortable. Lucette, thinking to herself. What is he doing here? How did he get in here? Well, he got in here because he's cursed, but she doesn't know that. I walk toward him, but do not get very far before he is in front of me, down on one knee with his head bowed. Fritz. I finally found you, Your Highness! Lucette, shocked, thinking to herself. How does he remember me? How did he find me? Out loud. Fritz. Fritz. Princess, I have no idea what's happening, but the whole kingdom. Everyone has completely forgotten you and... Lucette. Let us go somewhere else to talk. I interrupt Fritz when I notice all of the stairs around the room. Jurian. Not so fast! Seemingly from nowhere, Jurian and Garland are in front of me, separating me from Fritz. Fritz. Lady Jurian? Sir Garland? I was told you left Angiel. What are you two doing here? Jurian. I could ask you the same, Sir Fitzgerald. What are you doing here? Fritz is at a loss for words as he stares at Jurian, confused. Garland. Answer the question, Sir Fitzgerald. Jurian. What are you doing here? I am quickly reaching the end of my patience. Lucette. Just let me talk to him. Neither Jurian nor Garland back down. If anything, they only look more ready to draw their swords. Jurian. I don't trust him. As I look at the three of them, I remember the story of Jurian and Garland's dismissal from the Order of Caldera. Lucette, thinking to herself. Sir Alcaster was the one that dismissed them, so perhaps they hold some type of grudge? Is it because Fritz is Sir Alcaster's son? Out loud. I do not know why you do not trust Sir Alcaster, but Fritz is a completely different person. He is my knight, He would never harm me. Garland. We have our reasons for doing this, Princess. I sigh, rubbing at my forehead with my hand to try and dispel an impending headache. Delora. I swear, you lot are like a bed of snakes. Stop hissing at each other. Delora walks in from behind me, swatting at Jurian and Garland to move them. She smiles at Fritz before turning to beam that same smile at Jurian and Garland. Delora. If you are so concerned, then feel free to chaperone the princess with her knife. I'm sure the two of you can handle it if he tries to do something funny. Fritz's voice is quiet when he speaks. Fritz. You know I would never hurt her. Jurian. Fine. I glare at Jurian and Garland when we are in the reception room. Thankfully, they take the hint and retreat to the opposite wall, far enough to give Fritz and I some privacy. Fritz speaks as soon as I sink into a chair. Fritz. I haven't seen you in 4 months, Princess. Lucette, thinking to herself. It's been that long already? Fritz. Did you know how worried I was when I woke up one day and realized that Princess Emmeline was in your place? To make things worse, no one remembered you. Not even the king. When I brought up Crown Princess Lucette, everyone thought I was delusional. Lucette, thinking to herself. Where do I even begin? I decide to start with the facts of my curse and how I am meant to break it. Fritz. So, you have the Cinderella curse, and that's the reason you've remained in the Marchette? Lucette. Yes. Fritz. And you need to complete 3 good deeds to break it. Lucette. That is right. Fritz. And how many good deeds have you accomplished, if you don't mind me asking? I frown as I shake my head. Lucette. None. I do not think I am capable of doing good. Fritz. Of course you are! I look up in surprise at Fritz's impassioned declaration. Fritz. Let me start with this. I knew even when we first met that I was not what you were expecting. I wouldn't be surprised to know that I even disappointed you. But you never said a word of complaint, even in the beginning when I made lots of mistakes. I just want them to be friends. I feel like Fritz loves her enough to want her to be happy, and he just wants to, be there for her. And I'm perfectly happy with her, being on a romance path with Waltz and getting to still have Fritz as her knight, because she needs friends. And, Fritz definitely feels to me like somebody who will happily stand aside if it is what will make her happy. And, just be there for her as a friend, as whatever she needs. Fritz. But you never said a word of complaint, even in the beginning when I made lots of mistakes. And we both know how clumsy I was in the beginning. There is kindness in you, Princess. I know this for a fact. Even when I look away, I can still feel Fritz's eyes and smile directed at me. Fritz. Anyway, so if everyone has forgotten who you are, how is it that I can still remember you? Lucette, thinking to herself. There is only one reason that makes any sense, though it brings up more questions than answers. Out loud. Those who have the fairy tale curse are not affected by the conditions of another person's curse. Fritz. Shocked. Wait, are you saying that I am cursed? Lucette. Unless you are... Oh, sorry, she probably isn't laughing. Lucette. Unless you are secretly a witch or a fairy. Fritz. No, I'm definitely human. I can assure you of that. What about Lady Jurian and Sir Garland? Jurian speaks up from her corner of the room. Though the knights have been feigning disinterest, there is no doubt they are listening in on our conversation. Jurian. We aren't cursed, so unfortunately we don't remember Princess Lucette being, well, Crown Princess. Garland. We only found out when she came here. Fritz. I see. Fritz's distress is apparent as he looks grimly down at the floor. He hasn't admitted to having the curse, which means that he either does not know he has it, or refuses to tell me. Fritz. I can't believe this! How could I have the fairy tale curse and not know about it? Lucette. Have there been no differences in your life lately? Fritz. I suppose I've been more forgetful lately. Does that count? Lucette. You've always been forgetful. Fritz. I know. Fritz's posture stiffens as Jurian walks towards us from the other end of the room. Her arms are crossed, and her gaze, directed at Fritz, is filled with suspicion. Jurian. How were you able to find this place? Fritz looks back at me, as if asking permission, and I nod. Fritz. I've been dispatching scouts throughout Angiel to look for the princess ever since she disappeared. A girl matching her description was seen in this area, entering this house. When my scouts entered this place, they found it empty and abandoned. I figured that this was as good a place as any to start looking for traces of her. Though, I was expecting an empty house, not a tavern full of people. Garland. Only those with the curse, or certain permitted people such as Jurian and myself, can enter this place and see it for what it is. Fritz. Silence. So, I really am cursed then. Fritz is silent for a few moments as he considers what was just said to him. Fritz. That does explain things, though not as much as I'd like. Fritz stands. Fritz. I still have many questions to ask, but I am expected back at the palace. Fritz turns to look at Jurian and Garland. Fritz. I don't know why the two of you are here, but I'm glad that you are. I know I can trust you to keep the princess safe. Please take care of her. Jurian. You don't have to tell us twice. Fritz smiles in reply before turning once more to bow to me. Fritz. Until we see each other again, princess. I hope we get more of Fritz in this route. I just... because there's so many other characters where it's like, each route has like highlight characters in addition to the love plot. And I would love if like this would probably actually make Waltz's route my favorite route. Like, because Fritz might be my favorite like individual love interest, although I haven't fully seen Waltz. But his route was so rough. It's hard to call it my favorite route, even though Fritz is my favorite still my favorite character. But if there's a lot of Fritz in Waltz's route, then that makes Waltz, like, the ultimate, like, bestest route for me. Like, not only is it, like, the one where everything gets revealed, it is the true route, and I like Waltz as a love interest, he seems cool. But, like, all of that and bonus Fritz, that is the best. Alright. Anyway. A week goes by after Fritz leaves the tavern, and my luck does not change. I am still unable to complete a single good deed. I want to ask Parfait if she knows anything about Fritz and his curse, but she has been absent from the tavern for more than a week. When I asked Delora why Parfait was missing, all the witch said was that Parfait was busy dealing with the rapid spread of the fairy tale curse. Today, I am accompanying Waltz to the toy shop to buy materials for his upcoming show. Lucette thinking to herself. But now I cannot find him. He was by these shelves earlier. Where has he gone? I turn a corner and my gaze... You know what, to be fair, I'm just realizing that Waltz might not have seen her admiring that doll, so when I got all excited and wanted him to buy the doll for her, he might just not have had the context, like he might not have known that that was a doll that she wanted. So... I turn a corner and my gaze is caught once more by the dolls on display. One particular doll catches my eye, and I cannot help but marvel at its beauty. That is a nice doll. Lucette, thinking to herself, if only I had enough money to buy you. I notice a man standing just to the right, in front of the teddy bear display shelf. Lucette, thinking to herself, isn't that... The father I saw with his daughter a few weeks ago? He is looking at the teddy bear that his daughter wanted, the one he did not have enough money to buy. I watch as he opens one of his clenched hands. There are some gold coins on his palm. I glimpsed the price tags of the teddy bears earlier, and I am certain that the man does not have enough money to afford the one he is eyeing. Is Lucette gonna give her money to this guy? Or at least, if there's a choice, that's definitely what I'll have her do, because that would be a good deed. If she's like, oh, this guy, he just wants to buy a nice toy for his daughter, and she gives him the gold to cover the excess, that would definitely be a good deed. Man, I thought I'd have saved enough by now. Now what do I get her for her birthday? The man heads for the next shelf over. He raises a hand to rub at the back of his neck. Lucette, silence. I walk over and pick up the bear the man was just looking at. Lucette, thinking to herself, it is very soft, and somehow comforting to hold. I can see why the girl liked this one. I begin to move towards the counter without realizing. I hold the teddy bear to me with one hand and reach for the bag of coins with my other. The king gave me this money all those months ago, but I never used it. Lucette, thinking to herself, if I buy this bear, I will be completely broke. Lady, Miss? Lucette, silence. Could you wrap this for me? Lady, of course. After she has finished wrapping the bear, I turn to search for the father. It seems he is no longer in the shop. Lucette, thinking to herself, has he left? Waltz, wow, that's a big toy you got there. Waltz appears with a bright smile on his face. He leans forward to inspect the package I am holding. Lucette, I need to find him. Actually, that was kind of a weird. Lucette, I need to find him. Waltz, who? Lucette, thinking to herself, I am sure he hasn't gone too far yet. Waltz, hey, wait! Lucette, thinking to herself, where is he? Waltz. Princess, where are you going? I'm gonna err on the side of explaining because I feel like if Waltz knows what she's doing, he might be able to help. Like, it's possible he just, like, knows the guy. Lucette. There's someone I need to find, there's someone I need to find. Did you happen to see the man eyeing the large teddy bear earlier? Waltz. I think I caught a glimpse of him. Why? Lucette. We need to find that man. I must give this to him. I am about to run off into the crowd when I feel Waltz's hand on my sleeve. I turn to snap impatiently at him, but find my annoyance dying at the expression on his face. Waltz. Look, I'm not entirely sure of what is happening, but I'll help you. But you have to stay with me. We shouldn't be separated in this crowd. Lucette. Fine. Waltz keeps his pace with me as I almost break into a run. Yeah, I was pretty confident that was the right answer. Waltz. It will be difficult to find that man with all these people around. Lucette. But we should at least try. Waltz and I search for hours, but we never find him. Lucette, thinking to herself, I do not even know his name. Waltz. We can try again tomorrow. It's going to be dark soon. Lucette. But it's her birthday. Waltz. Who? I ignore Waltz. In the brief second that I close my eyes, I can see the man's pained expression in my mind. I sit down on a bench and clutch the wrapped bear to my chest. Lucette, thinking to herself, he wanted to buy this bear for his daughter's birthday, because he loves her. A familiar ache flares up in my chest. Lucette, thinking to herself, I have spent my whole life wanting the king to treat me the same way that man treats his daughter. Waltz. Lucette. I promise you, we'll look again first thing in the morning. Lucette. Silence. Waltz and I head back to the Marchen, but the weight in my chest slows me down. Waltz. It's not like you to be this sad for a stranger. You've changed. Lucette, thinking to herself. Have I? Voice. I knew it! I was so hopeful that she would just coincidentally wander by and overhear or see him, catch him randomly, and I'm so glad. Like, I was like, there's no way the game will not reward her for trying this damn hard to do a genuine good deed without even thinking about it. Voice. Welcome home, Papa! The girl's voice is familiar. I whirl on my heels and stare at the little girl in the doorway of one of the homes. I had thought we were too late, but... Lucette. We found them! The little girl runs from her home to wrap her arms around her father, who picks her up and pulls her into a tight hug. Man. I'm sorry I'm late, sweetheart. Girl. But you're here now! Mama, Papa is here! We can start my birthday party now! The girl wiggles out of her father's embrace and runs back into the house excitedly. Man. Silence. The man is carrying a small box in his hand, wrapped neatly with a ribbon. He looks down at his gift and sighs. Before he can go inside the home, I walk towards him and tap him on the shoulder. Lucette. Excuse me. Man. Shocked. You were in the toy shop earlier. Lucette. I was. We have been looking everywhere for you. Man. For me? He looks first at me, then at the package I carry in my arms. Can I help you with something, miss? Lucette. I heard that it was your daughter's birthday today. Man. She's turning 7 today, but why? Lucette. Here. That does not look like a teddy bear. I mean, I guess it was just wrapped in a little baggie. That's fine, but I wanted to see your teddy bear. Oh well, it's fine. Lucette. This is for your daughter. Man. This is... Lucette. The toy you wanted to buy for her. Take it. Man. Shocked. No, I can't possibly. Sorry, that was a way more alarmed no than I meant. Let me try that again. No, I can't possibly. Lucette. Just take it. The man seems to be in too much shock to reach out for the teddy bear. He shakes his head in wonder. Man. You don't even know who we are. Why would you do something like this? Lucette, thinking to herself. I have been asking myself that all day. Out loud. You love your daughter very much, don't you? Man. She is my life. She and my wife. But I cannot pay you for this. Girl. Papa, why are you taking so long? The girl is suddenly at the door again, her wide eyes staring right at me. Girl. Who are you? The little girl clings to her father's legs. She looks curious, but not afraid. Lucette, thinking to herself. I do not know what to say. Waltz. This pretty lady here is your fairy godmother, little one. Girl, shocked. I turn to glare at Waltz. Lucette, thinking to herself. What is he playing at? Girl. Fairy godmother? Like the one in Cinderella? Waltz. Yes. I shoot Waltz another warning look, but he only grins at me. Waltz. She's come to fulfill your birthday wish. Isn't that right, my lady? I think in this case playing along is the correct. So we're going to try that and see. Lucette, thinking to herself. It is her birthday. I might as well play along. Lucette. Yes, I am. Girl. Really? Waltz nudges me towards the little girl. I glare at him before I kneel down and hold the wrapped teddy bear out to her. Lucette, thinking to herself. What does Waltz usually say to children when he gives them gifts? Oh. Lucette. You have been a very good girl. This is for you. The girl reaches out and takes the bear. Her eyes light up as she stares at it. Girl. Is this the teddy bear? I nod and the little girl squeals, twirling around with the wrapped teddy bear tight in her arms. Then suddenly she puts the bear down and throws her arms around my neck. Girl. Thank you! Thank you for granting my wish, Miss Fairy Godmother! I am too shocked to react. Girl. Mama! Look what my fairy godmother brought me! can only stare as the little girl runs back into the house with the gift. Man. Thank you. I glance at the man who, too much to my surprise, has tears running down his cheeks. He is still somehow smiling through them. This is extremely heartwarming. I just need a moment because, oh my gosh, this is so cute. Man, I will never forget your kindness. He dips into a short bow, then disappears into his home. Lucette, shocked. Yay! Her first piece of the second slipper. This was so obviously a good deed. She was like, there is this happy family that is like the ideal of what I always wanted out of my family, especially my relationship with my father, and I just can't let this man go without being able to give his daughter the toy that he really wanted to get for her. And I don't know, I just find that really sweet and really moving. Everything about this was lovely. Lucette, this is a piece of the glass slipper. Waltz, your first good deed. I stare in disbelief at the hovering piece in my hand. One moment it is there. The next it has been swallowed by a bright light and is joined with my pendant. Lucette, I cannot believe it. Waltz, look. Waltz, shocked. But Waltz is not looking at my new pendant. He is looking at my face, his gaze enraptured. Of course he is, because look at how freaking cute her smile is. Oh my gosh. Alright. I literally cannot remember if there was a correct choice indicator, so I'm just gonna like go whoosh and skip through and let's play along. And, maybe we haven't found out if that's the right choice or not. I guess we'll keep going. He is looking at my face, his gaze enraptured. Lucette, what are you looking at? Waltz, you just smiled. Lucette, shocked. I did? Waltz, it's as beautiful as I remember. I feel slightly embarrassed and have no words as I quickly turn my head away. Yay! Yes, okay, there's the right choice. I was pretty confident that playing along with the fairy godmother thing was the right choice there. Waltz, I'm glad you decided to play along with my story. You made her birthday extra special by making her believe that you were her own fairy godmother. No matter how tough things are, every child has someone watching over them, so long as they're good. My eyes are still on the slipper when I hear an unfamiliar voice behind us. Voice. Cinderella's glass slipper, huh? We both turn around to stare at a man standing a few feet from us. He is cloaked in darkness, but I can still make out his grin. Oh, yep, it's Varg. I thought it might be. Voice. Hello, princess. Oh my. Okay, so we're ending there, so we'll get to see how Varg... I was like, if we're gonna get a lot of Fritz in this chapter, it was inevitable that we'd also be getting Varg. I just hope that maybe in this chapter they'll help him break his curse and they can be friends again, and I don't know. I just hope that it doesn't, take as much as it did in his route to break him out of the curse. I just want Fritz to be okay. I should mentally prepare myself just in case this is just not gonna go well. But, because, there was another route in which Fritz just straight up died and that route sucked, but... Fingers crossed for a happy ending for as happy ending Fritz can have without dating Lucette ending for Fritz. Where Fritz will be himself, and he will be friends with Lucette, and he will be happy for her, and he'll eventually find a nice person of his own. Honestly, in the route where Lucette dates Waltz, maybe Fritz can get, I don't know, well, he can stay by her side as her knight and find his own happiness in addition. Yes, that's my hope. Anyway, so thank you to folks who were lurking, and thank you to anyone who watches this later. This was I am really jazzed about this. We're only on the second chapter of the route proper, and I am really enjoying it. I am very sure that this is gonna, like, this is already shaping up to, like 2 chapters in, and I'm already pretty confident this is gonna be my favorite route by far. So, alright then, I will be back at it with chapter 5. I should be back at it with chapter 5 next week, but I'm gonna definitely miss, I want to say the week, yeah. So next week I will be streaming, the week after I will not, but then I should be back on regular schedule. So it should just be next week, I think, that I'll be missing, so, not next week. I will stream chapter 5 next week, and the week after that is the only one I should miss. Like, I've got nothing going on the 26th, so I should be streaming then. So yeah, so there's just the week after next that I'll be missing. And then also my schedule for this week should be pretty much as normal, with my Friday streams and I'll be doing lots of Scarlet Hollow over the weekend. And yeah, so hope to see folks there at any of my future streams. And thank you very much for supporting me, and I appreciate you all very much. Bye!